Where was I? Where have I been? Come on, John. You're the commish. You gotta come on. You gotta do this stuff. All right. Summary prediction, league update time, and this one's gonna be a long one because you guys deserve it. Last week, I don't know. I don't remember the last time I talked. I think that I need to summarize what happened last week. I know that for sure. Um, you guys voted on a game of the week. It's still up there, of course, because I haven't been updating things. You guys said that the paper plane was your game of the week between Anthony's team and Team Sarah, and I agree. It was a close game. Um, Anthony did pull this one out. Team Sarah's team, uh, they just couldn't pull through here. Randall Cobb specifically, and Jordan Reed got injured, so that had to hurt a lot. Todd Gurley was on her bench, could have made a huge difference. Anthony picked up Drew Brees, who's looking better than Tannehill. Drew Brees was dropped by Alex after his injury, but Chris Ivory is looking amazing for Anthony. Um, Besides that, Doug Martin, he had his first really good week. Eddie Lacy's still not looking too good. Anthony had a great week. He improves to 2-2, and Sarah did not improve. She fell to 2-2. Other games, what do we got here? How about Team Alex versus No Dog, which was a matchup between the two undefeated teams. Two of the undefeated teams that probably didn't deserve it, but Alex is looking more like he deserves it. Ronnie Hillman, the Ronnie Hillman era has begun in Denver. He scored 335 points of Alex's total 1,400. Amari Cooper looked great. Mark Ingram's always looking good. Kirk Cousins surprisingly looked good. Martellus Bennett also looked good. I told him to start Martellus Bennett this week, so got to give me credit there, Alex. No Dog, Carlos Williams got injured. That surprise isn't looking as good anymore. Travis Benjamin had a bad week. Derek Carr looked okay, but Tavon Austin on her bench with 320 points. That's impressive. Team Twitter versus Motor City Tsunamis, another amazing matchup. Team Twitter was 3-0 until she had her first very bad week. Just nothing was clicking for her team. Motor City Tsunamis did not have the best week either, but still pulled out the win by scoring only 800 points. Team Twitter literally had no good performances. Carson Palmer even underperformed, even though he scored 220 points. He's usually scoring more. Tyrod Taylor Charles Clay is looking good for Motor City Tsunamis. He's got Gronk, though, so he doesn't need Clay, but he can trade Clay away. He almost did to me. I did not want that trade. I accidentally accepted, then I had to decline. I apologize for that. That is my fault, everybody. Joseph Randall, 120 points. Mike Wallace, 180. Motor City Tsunamis, I think they were lucky to pull this one off, but they improved to 3-1, which is very good for their race in George number 2. John 3 versus John IV. John IV is finally back on track again to improve to 2-2. The defending league champion is still looking pretty good. Devonta Freeman continues to dominate for John 3, and that's really all he's needed. Odell Beckham Jr. is not being Odell Beckham Jr., but Devonta Freeman, he's being Devonta Freeman, I guess. I don't know who he was before this year, but he's amazing. Team Heidi improves to 3-1 with another low-scoring performance. George number 1 has a lot of good record teams that have had a bunch of poor scoring weeks. That's all I can say about it. Team Heidi only scored around 800. This was a lot like week 1, a lot of low scores. It was a poor fantasy week. Team Karen dropped to 1-3 against Team Heidi. Then he got Chicken Dinner. 491 points. Nothing from his team. The defending Georgia 1 champ has nothing to say so far this year. He's going to have to make some big moves here. While Team John Jr. improves to 2-2 with a great week from Jeremy Hill. Finally stepping up. The best versus Uncle Adam. This one was actually the closest score-wise. 905 to 892, very close. Best pulled it out though to get her first win of the season. Let's take a look at the standings. Wow, Georgia number one. They have the only 4-0 team left, Team Alex. Team Alex, as far as points for goes, he has improved a lot after a good week. He is now outscoring 3 people in Georgia number 2 instead of nobody. 1,400 points was amazing for the week that everybody had. It was the leading scorer last week. Team Alex is looking legit now, even though he dropped Drew Brees. No Dog and Team Heidi are right behind him at 3-1. Team Heidi, her points for are less than everybody in Georgia number 2, and she's at 5th overall in Georgia number 1. But she still comes out 3-1. She still has the record to show it, and it looks like she'll make the playoffs if she continues to win. That's all she needs to do. No Dog also at 3-1. She doesn't have too many points either. Everyone in Georgia number 2 is outscoring her still. But she's still at 3-1. Football Americano, Team John Jr. These two are my 2 favorite teams out of this division, both at 2-2. They both came out with wins last week, which is huge. And Team John Jr. did it against a poor Chicken Dinner team, of course, but Football Americano got it off of one of the best teams in Georgia number 2, which is huge. Then you got Team Karen at 1-3, and Chicken Dinner, the only winless team left. Toilet Bowl for the defending Georgia number 1 champ. It just might be. He has the least amount of points in the league by far, too. Then we got Georgia number 2 on top, Motor City Tsunamis and Team Twitta. And of course, Motor City Tsunamis owns that tiebreaker now because of last week's victory. Then you got Team Sarah and Team John IV at 2-2. This top 4 makes a lot of sense to me. That's why I like Georgia number 2 a lot better. It's easier to analyze because this top 4 is the top 4. They're all the 4 best teams in this division, I can tell. While in Georgia number 1, Football Americano and Team John Jr., who are in 4th and 5th place, are who I think have the best teams. And they have the highest scoring teams, too. But Team Alex, No Dog, and Team Heidi are all ahead of them, so it confuses me, much like the NFL does this year. Then we got Team John 3, the best, and Uncle Adam at 1-3, all fighting to get that last playoff spot. That will be an interesting race, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is the same. I think those are the same 3 teams who were fighting for the last playoff spot last year. So it looks like we're going to have that battle happening again. Or no, that was, and Team Twitta was in last. This year, Team Twitta is looking a lot better. Although Team Sarah has the highest amount of points scored in the entire league. Yikes. Which is crazy to think about. And even she had Gurley on her bench, and Gurley is looking like he's going to be really good. So that is scary. All right, let's move on to week 5. I told you this one was going to be a long one. We aren't even into the predictions yet. We're getting there. I'm going to personally just pick the game of the week since I didn't put the vote up. We got a lot of good games this week, but it's obvious. My matchup, Team Alex versus Team John IV, the 4-0, the 1-4-0 team left, facing off against the defending Georgia Bowl champ. These guys are looking... It's looking like it's going to be a very close matchup between the two. ESPN is favoring me, Team John IV. Looking at the preview, Tom Brady is obviously the better quarterback versus Eli Manning. But Brandon Marshall on the bye week for Team John IV could be huge, but James Jones finally gets to start for John IV, which is pretty big because... he's just been sitting on the bench, and he's the 9th best wide receiver this year as far as fantasy points go. So James Jones will finally get that start, but Brandon Marshall is Team John IV's best wide receiver, so that's got to hurt. Antonio Brown, of course, he's facing San Diego. ESPN thinks Calvin Johnson's better than Antonio Brown. Calvin Johnson is old. He's not good anymore. I just traded him in my other league for some studs. I don't like Calvin Johnson anymore. Mark Ingram is fantastic. Ronnie Hillman's looking fantastic. Amari Cooper's looking fantastic. Team Alex has a great running back core here. Amari Cooper is best wide receiver. Brandon Cooks can do it too. Justin Forsett finally had a good week for John IV last week. I think he'll do it again against Cleveland. They just got to give him the ball more. And TJ Yeldon had his first fantastic week last week too. Team John IV's team is looking like it's going to heat up, although it's not looking like it's the best team this year. Let's take a look at Karen versus Tsunamis. Karen has lost 2 in a row, while Tsunamis has won 2 in a row. Tsunamis, obviously, they have a better team than Team Karen. Can Team Karen surprise us, though? LeGarrette Blount scored 3 touchdowns last time he was on the field. Can he do it again? Julian Edelman hasn't been Tom Brady's touchdown target. But I think that'll change this week in Dallas. I really do. I think it's Julian Edelman's time to shine. Bishop Sankey had a good week 1, but I'm afraid it just goes downhill from there. Team Karen is hurting with Adrian Peterson on a bye. Motor City Tsunamis just has Mike Wallace on a bye, which is no big deal. Arian Foster has not looked good at all. He already played against the Indianapolis Colts on Thursday. He only scored 110, which is pretty good, but it's not Arian Foster. It's not what Arian Foster was doing last year for Team John 3. Joseph Randall is going to have a good game. New England's run defense isn't that good, so I think Joseph Randall can have a good game. Leonard Hankerson was a huge get for Motor City Tsunamis. He's amazing. I tried to pick him up. I didn't get him. I probably should have put him first on my waiver order list, but unfortunately did not. And Leonard Hankerson is in the hands of Motor City Tsunamis, who has improved his team a lot with that pickup. Rob Gronkowski, nothing more you can say, but he's going to score a couple touchdowns every week. Motor City Tsunamis will take this one. I don't know if I said. I think John IV will take the other one. I don't think I said who I thought was going to win. Uncle Adam versus No Dog is next. No Dog's 3-1. Uncle Adam's 1-3. Can Uncle Adam still take it? Is the question. Despite the record looking worse, does his team look worse? And the answer to that is absolutely. He could win easily. Greg Olson on a bye for Uncle Adam, which is big actually. But Antonio Gates is back. His suspension's over. He was the second best tight end last year. He was on my team, I remember. I think Uncle Adam's at full force this week. Mike Evans facing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Chris Johnson, although Andre Ellington's back, he's still looking like a good second back in Arizona. CJ Anderson, Ronnie Hillman's taking over. But Jamal Charles is, of course, the third best running back out there right now. He's looking great. Jay Cutler's back. He's great. Emmanuel Sanders, he's Peyton Manning's target for some reason. Over Demaryius Thomas, that is. On No Dog's team, she's had a bunch of surprising people. The number 2 wide receiver right now is Travis Benjamin, who No Dog owns. Was that just a fraud week or not? Obviously, he's had 2 fraud weeks if he's not going to perform like he did those weeks. Or he could very well. I mean, ESPN's projecting No Dog to score 599 points only, which is surprising. I've never seen that low. I think she'll score more than that, but I think Uncle Adam's team is better overall. And maybe No Dog's team will actually lose. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly could not tell. I can't predict this year. This year has been insane. I just don't. It's crazy. Team Twitter versus Team John Jr. John Jr. started 0-2. He's on a 2-game winning streak, and his team's looking amazing. Aaron Rodgers, Jeremy Hill, AJ Green, Keenan Allen. I love this team. Every time I look at it, I'm like, geez, I want that team. Although DeMarco Murray and Alshon Jeffrey are not looking too hot. Jarvis Landry's on a bye. Eric Decker's on a bye. Those two people are actually pretty good. Eric Decker's, for some reason, very good this year. Andrew Luck is injured for Team Twitter, but Carson Palmer has been the second best quarterback this year, which has been a surprise. Right now it's 10-0 because Dante Moncrief can only catch 3 yards of passing this week, but he got 10 from the win. Team John Jr. has had no one play yet. So we got ESPN saying this is going to be a real close one. And they're saying Team John Jr. is going to win after that poor effort out of Dante Moncrief. He's had some good weeks before, but Jason Wynn, if Julio Jones can have a huge game for Team Twitter, there's no stopping her. Carlos Hyde will be back this week with another huge week. He's been having trouble lately. Team Twitter with no bye weeks, her team's looking a little banged up. Latavius Murray, he could come out and have a good one. Kendall Wright's okay. Honestly, I'm gonna go with John Jr. here. Team Twitter loses her second in a row. I just can't see AJ Green's facing the Seahawks, which will be hard. I think he still scores a touchdown. Keenan Allen facing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers have let up a lot of points this year. I love Keenan Allen. Jeremy Hill, I think he'll score a couple. Aaron Rodgers, people are saying he's going to have trouble against St. Louis, but I don't think he will. I think Team John Jr. takes this one by a little bit. Football Americano versus Team John 3. Team John 3's lost 2 in a row. He's got Joique Bell out. His team's not looking good. Let's list off all these injuries. Marcus Whedon, Ben Roethlisberger, Joique Bell, Eddie Royal, all banged up. But on Anthony's team, we got LaShawn McCoy, Sammy Watkins, Stevie Johnson, Travis Kelce. They're all a bit banged up, but Travis Kelce will still play. People are liking Travis Kelce this year. When I look at his stat line, hasn't had a good week since week 1. I think Anthony should start Eifert over Kelce. Eifert's better consistently. Ivory's on a bye week. That's huge for Anthony, but Team John IV's team, or Team John 3's team, I don't think is good enough unless Odell Beckham Jr. can finally have a good week, or Devonta Freeman. Right now on Team John 3's team, 2 players are projected against 0, which means they probably think Eddie Royal's not going to play, and Joique Bell's definitely not going to play. He's already been ruled out. I think this will be a low-scoring game. Doug Martin, he's not that good. That was a fraud. Although I just got him in a trade in my other league. He's not that good. But Football Americano will still win, and it'll be a low-scoring game. Team Sarah faces Chicken Dinner this week. The classic husband-wife matchup, eh? It's back. Right now the score is 210-30. Team Sarah leads. DeAndre Hopkins looks amazing. Too bad he can't score touchdowns, right? But he still scored 270 points. I'm thinking Chicken Dinner's definitely going to go 0-4. And I don't even think it matters if Team Sarah keeps the Jets defense in or not. They're on a bye week. Might as well just not drop them and just keep them in and still win, maybe. That'd be fun. DeAndre Hopkins, huge week, of course. Todd Gurley's looking amazing. Le'Veon Bell, he's unstoppable. Randall Cobb, Demaryius Thomas, just nasty. Just a nasty team. Chicken Dinner's only hope is the Larry Fitzgerald, which is sad. Chicken Dinner needs to change his team. I look at his team and it's like, I don't think any of these guys could lead him to the playoffs, and he needs to make a quick change somehow. I don't know how. Team Sarah wins that one and improves to 3-2 and continues to be the scariest team in this league. All right, we got Best versus Heidi. Heidi, we're at like 20 minutes. Doesn't matter though, because you guys deserve a long one. You guys deserve a long one. I haven't talked to you guys in forever. We got. Oh, this one's a close one. Best versus Heidi. Heidi's 3-1. Heidi's faced some bad teams. She's had an easy schedule so far, and I think she'll improve to 4-1 on the year, which is weird to say when you look at her total scoring numbers. She scores under 1,000 each week. Giovanni Bernard was looking like he was going to take Jeremy Hill's spot. Team Heidi was loving it. Melvin Gordon doesn't look good. Dion Lewis, LeGarrette Blunt steals all his touchdowns. Jordan Matthews is good. Pierre Garcon, he's not good. Richard Rogers, he can be good sometimes. Team Heidi's team just doesn't look too good. I actually might take best in this situation just because Vincent Jackson might catch a couple touchdowns against Jacksonville. And not Russell. Allen Robinson might catch a couple touchdowns against Tampa Bay. They're gonna run up the score in that game. That's my last preview. The best wins that one. She'll win her second game in a row after starting 0-3. So as far as things are looking in the league, how things are shaping up. We played 4 games, so we're 1/3 through this season already. As you know, I usually do my 2/3 report. So after week 8, I'll do a special 2/3 report. People are wondering if this is the new way to do it. Am I doing videos? What am I doing? 2/3 report will be an article for sure. I'm gonna write it. That one's gonna be typed out. Just because with these I do less research because I'm lazy, and I want the 2/3 to report to have as much research as possible. And I really like with the written ones I can really set up matchups, and I can really show you the history, and I can really just hype things up a little bit more than I can with these, I feel. But as far as the overall league goes, obviously the NFL is a little weird. This year our projections were a bit off on every team. What's happening in this game? Ohio State's probably winning. Projections are just off. It feels weird. None of the good players are good. All the bad players are good. Devonta Freeman's good. In my league here, I had Eddie Lacy and I had Calvin Johnson on my team. My team is the second highest scorer out of 10 teams, and I'm 0-4. I don't know what's happening. I just made a huge trade. Calvin Johnson and Eddie Lacy for Jeremy Hill, Keenan Allen, Doug Martin, and Carlos Williams. That's last year that would be a terrible trade for me. Eddie Lacy and Calvin Johnson are amazing last year. They're not good this year. So I got the people who were good this year. Jeremy Hill's still good, especially after last week, Keenan Allen. And Doug Martin and Carlos Williams are apparently good now. Aside from that, let's take a look. I just want to, if you guys want maybe some more. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that No Dog versus Adam is actually Winner Winner Chicken Dinner, which is a rivalry game. We have 4 rivalry weeks in a row. Week 6 is Best at John Jr., the Fantabulous John W. Jr. Bowl, which still has not changed their name, surprisingly. Week 7 is the Sushi Bowl, Heidi at Twitta, and the Beard Bowl, Alex at Supa. So we've got a lot of things coming up. Week 11 is Swedish Fish Bowl, which is a huge one. Maybe Uncle Chris can improve his team by then, so it's actually a competition. Let's do the power rankings real quick, because I didn't release those yet either. I just had a big week in Toronto, and I had some homework to catch up on because I missed classes last Thursday. Let me give you my power rankings here. Team Alex, I'll give you number 1 just because Team Twitta had a terrible week. Congratulations on number 1, Team Alex. I have a feeling I might beat you next week, and you won't be there anymore. Team Sarah's number 2. She has the most scored points by far. Team Twitta's number 3. She dropped 2 spots. Yikes. We got Motor City Tsunamis at number 4. Football Americano at number 5. Team John IV, they're at number 6, going up 3 spots after a nice win. No Dog has dropped, actually, even though after her loss up to number 7. Team John Jr. is down a little bit to number 8 just because he didn't have a high-scoring week. Team Heidi's down to number 9. Team John 3 down 4 spots to number 10. The Best moves up 2 spots after a win to number 11. Uncle Adam drops to number 12. Team Karen drops to number 13. And Chicken Dinner is still down. Still down at number 14. And I gotta update my opponent histories. And then we will be all updated. Now. Good luck to everybody this weekend. This one's as long as a 30-minute TV show. This is a John George. It's like Sports Center. Good luck to everybody. Miss you all. I'll be back in Grosse Pointe on Wednesday. I'm coming back. So if you wanna hang out, I'm down. See you guys.